Okay. So yeah, so that's why we want to introduce you agentic coding workflow. The next thing we wanted to do was also clarify what some of the expectations around project 2 are, because there's some confusion as to whether to use function calling or what have you and these sorts of things. So we will clarify all those things in this session. You can hard code everything, okay? There is no issues with hard coding. The only thing you got to be aware of is the files that will be sent to you via the API call will be uh, different from the files that uh, you have. And some of the parameters may change. So as long as you're aware of that, you can hard code the solutions to everything. The idea behind Project 2 is, from what we spoke with Anand, his goal is it is too big for one person to handle. So that's why he wants people to collaborate and work on different sections of it. And once we show you today's agentic coding workflow, it should be very trivial for you guys to actually be able to do this, right? Where you can just produce solutions that even involve terminal commands and all sorts of things, because agentic workflow is able to do all this. So just that's the main theme for today. Okay. I think the guys are ready now. Jivraj, you are ready?
By the way, Carlton,
Yeah.
should we start streaming on YouTube as well?
I haven't set up the stream for today because last week when I set up the stream wasn't running. So I don't know why it wasn't running.
It's just showing me a pop-up that do you want to start
Yeah,
start
but
streaming or
it's
not?
yeah, you can close that because I haven't
Okay,
actually set up the schedule for it.
got it.
But I've started the recording, so that will work for today. Maybe
Okay,
for tomorrow's session and Thursdays I'll set up the stream.
okay. So guys, let's get started with this session. So before Jivraj gets along with the tool that the Carlton just talked about, I'll be showing you guys. I'll be just wrapping up with the week 6, which the last part which involves you, which the last part which was left of week 6 was just the networks library. So that's something which I believe that should be covered as well. Though in the ROE, it had few, I guess we had a question on network accelerator as well. So I assume that most of you people must be aware with that, but just for the sake of completion, I will be showing you guys. Okay. So is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Someone just give me some thumbs up. Okay, got it. So the thing is that this network is library. It's basically used for situations when you are dealing with graphs. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have studied, if you guys have taken PDS before taking TDS, but uh, graphs are something which is a kind of data structure where we have multiple elements and then we have connections between those elements. Okay, so if you just search a graph on Google, you will be able to see what's a graph. Okay, and so yeah, so the thing is that networks library helps us create these graphs, and then it allows us to perform few functions on these graphs to extract out some information from them. Okay, so
Yeah,
first of all,
can font be made slightly bigger?
yeah, for sure. Thank you, Anant,
Yeah,
for
thank
reminding
you.
me. By the way, is this level of magnification enough, or should I magnify it even more?
Yeah, it is okay now.
Perhaps this would be much better. Okay. So for that, firstly, we have to install network X library. It's pretty simple. We have to install network X, and then you can simply import it. The next part is you have to initialize a graph instance. Okay. So this particular line of code which you are able to see over here, it's initializing a graph instance from network X library. Okay. So this NX is just an alias for network X, and then we're initializing a graph. The next step is adding the nodes and adding the edges in the graph. Okay, so if I just open Google and let me just show you what's a graph is. Graph. Let's go to this. What should I write? Extra graph. Okay. So this is an example of a graph. And as you can see that over here, we have two components. Okay, it's not opening. So over here, we have two components to look at. So just a second. Yeah. So we have two components over here. First one, we have these nodes, and the next one are these edges. Okay. And these nodes are just connected with these edges, and then we have some weights over them, over these edges as well. That's another concept of weights. So when we're dealing with the network X, firstly we have to add the nodes that we have. Okay. So by the way, this, if you guys have completed PDSA, so actually this particular graph, I have taken it from a PDSA GRPA. Okay. So let's go ahead and just check if we can perform functions like the shortest path function on this graph as well. Okay. So these are the edges of my graph. Let me just put it in another code block. And now the first thing that I have to do is I have to add the nodes. Okay. So before getting started with anything, we have to add these nodes before, and then we will be adding these edges. Okay. All right. So this is the code for adding a node, which is we just pass an entire list of vertices we have in this add node from method. Okay, so that's enough. This one just adds these nodes in the graph, and after that, what we have to do is we have to one by one add these edges as well. Okay, so as you can see that this edges list is a list of tuples. Okay, and from each and every tuple we are extracting the first part, which is this A, and then the second part, which is this B, and then the weight of that edge. Okay, so this is how it's working. And what are these A and B? These are this is the number of the node that we are connecting with. Okay, so this 0, 1 means that there is a node. Okay, let me just use a pen. Okay, so the 0, 1 means that there is a node 0 and there is a node 1, and then there is an edge between these two which have a weight of 10. Okay, so this is how this is what this particular tuple means. All right, so let's clear this all, and now you can see that firstly we have added these vertices, then we have to add these edges as well. Okay, so the method to add edges is pretty simple. It's just add edge, and then we have to put in the vertex, the first vertex, then the second vertex, and the weight that we are assigning it. Okay, that's pretty simple. And I just ran a for loop over this edges list, and that created the entire graph for me. Okay, that's done. And the next part is pretty simple. So your graph is absolutely ready to be experimented with. Okay, and now we can run multiple functions which are present in this graph. So first of all, there is a function called shortest path, and this one extracts out the shortest path which is from a particular vertex to another vertex using a certain parameter. Okay, so over here we are extracting the shortest path between 0, the vertex 0, and vertex 4, wherever it is, and using the weights. Okay, so our aim is to minimize the weights that we are passing over. Okay, so this is how it's working. Okay, so let me just run this particular block, and you can see that we got this particular path, and it's telling us that the shortest path to from vertex 0 to vertex 4 is this one, 0. Firstly, you have to go to 0, then you have to go to 1, then you have to go to 2, then you have to go to 4, and then you will reach the destination. Okay, these can be changed as well. If let's say if I want to go to 6th node. I'll just run it, and you can see that this is the path. If I just want to go to the third one, this is the path for that. Let's see for this. Okay, so from sixth vertex to third, this is the path. Okay, this is how it works. So now coming to the practical applications of a graph, you can imagine this particular graph as, let's say, I have a map of travel places. Okay, so let's say this 0 is Delhi. Okay, and this 1 is Chennai. All right. So these graphs, this NetworkX library actually allows you to find uh, the shortest path and multiple other functions that you can use graphs on to, and then allow you to solve your problem. So let's say if you have been given a set of cities, which and you also have been given the distance between those cities. So let's say this 0 is Delhi, and this 1 is, let's make it Chandigarh. Okay, Chandigarh. So you will be able, so whenever we are giving you some data set regarding to work with NetworkX library, so we will give you like this in this certain way, where we are giving, let's say, coordinates of a particular city, and then we are also giving you the distance between those two cities. Then you have to calculate the shortest path from one particular city to another particular city. This is how you can expect some questions. Okay, so that was a shortest path one, and that concludes the NetworkX library. You can go ahead and explore this particular library. It's pretty fun to work with as well. So just go to Google and search for NetworkX library, and it will just take you to the documentation page, and it's a pretty good documentation. You can simply search for anything you want. Let's say a spanning tree. There should be something like spanning. Yeah, so we have spanning trees as well, maximum spanning. Okay. So there are multiple. Okay, we have random spanning trees as well. So it's an entire world to discover. Okay, so just go ahead and discover this right. All right. So this concludes the NetworkX library part. Anyone having any questions? Anyone? All right, guys. So I hope, yeah, everyone is speaking. Yes, Ananta.
No question. Thank you.
And Ratnapriya, what are you trying to say in the chat box? G-add?
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, here G dot add nodes from range I to range in 7. Can you
Yeah, yeah.
explain this?
This is pretty simple. So the thing is that in my edges, let me just control Z this part. Okay, so in my edges, I have these tuples. Okay, and these tuples are nothing but this first value is the starting vertex, the second value is the ending vertex, and this is the weight. Fine. So to add the nodes in your graph, you firstly have to run this particular function, which is add node from. Okay, and over here I did nothing, but I just pasted. I just ran a for loop over. So this is actually a inline for loop. I will just remove this one because it might complicate things for you. So you can make it like this as well. Okay, so you can do like this. We're just passing a list of all these nodes to our NetworkX library. So let's say if in a case you had nodes like Delhi, Chennai, Singapore, like that. So you have to add these vertices like this. Okay, so this is how you have to add it. It's not compulsory to only add numerical values. You can add what we can say. You can add textual values as well, strings as well in these nodes. Okay, does that clarify your doubt?
Yes, sir. Now I get it.
Fine. Anyone having any questions, or should we move ahead?
Sir,
Yeah, Tanya.
so the index number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, this is not the index number. This is just the nodes. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me create a very basic edges, because this might create some problems. Okay, so it's Delhi to Chandigarh. Okay, and the distance between Delhi to Chandigarh, I'm not sure, but it is about 300 kilometers. Fine. Next one would be from let's say Chandigarh to Shimla, and this one, let's say it's about 100 kilometers, I suppose. And one more one, and this one would be from Shimla back to Delhi. Okay, and this one would be approx let's say 600 kilometers. Fine. So this is a very basic uh, graph, and let me just run this one. Now if I just want to draw this graph on this page, so how it would be, let me just draw it once. Let's just okay, so here is my Delhi. Okay, here is Chandigarh, here is Shimla, and this is nothing but we are let me change the color. Okay, from Chandigarh to Shimla, the distance is how much? 100 kilometers. Okay, from Shimla to Delhi, it's 600. Okay, and from Delhi to Chandigarh, it's 300 kilometers. Okay, so this is how your graph is going to look like. Now, when we are talking about adding these edges, so I have added these edges. Now, if I want to change this one, so let me just duplicate it, comment this one out, and now it's simply I will add these nodes. Okay, Chandigarh, Shimla. Okay, it has added multiple others as well. I don't need this much. Okay, so we have added these nodes. We have added these nodes, and
Okay, sir.
all that's remaining is to run this one. And our new graph has been created. We've added these edges. Now you can perform any function you want. Like let's say if I want to find the shortest path between Delhi to Shimla, so it's going to be, let's see, it's going to be from Delhi to Chandigarh to Shimla, because this is pretty understood, because we gave it a very basic graph. Okay, with direct connections, so that's why it's giving us like this. You just make it Chandigarh, it's going to work as well. Okay, so you can work with string values. It's not necessary that you have to work with numerical values always. Okay, so I guess that yeah, clarifies it. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions, or should we move ahead? Fine. Okay, so Javraj, you can take over.
Is the screen being shared or not?
So guys, just a second. Actually, Jivraj will be joining with my device. There is some problem with his machine, so just sit tight. We are getting started. So first and foremost, we will have to install VS Code Insiders. So VS Code Insiders is basically a kind of VS Code for developers. Okay, so for this to run, we will recommend you guys to install VS Code installer. I guess I have it. Yeah, here it is. So for downloading this setup, you just have to click on download for Windows and it will just download it for you. Next would be simply click on I accept the agreement, and next this is fine as well. Let's go with this one. Okay, I will like to create a start menu folder. No, I don't want. Okay, let's go. The desktop icon as well. Add insiders to work. Windows Explorer file content menu. Yes, sure. So guys, a few people deal with this problem that they don't have this. Whenever, let's say, whenever I click on show more options, I get this open with code option, right? So the problem is that you haven't checked this box, which is add open with code insiders action to Windows Explorer file content menu. This is essential if you want to see this. Okay, so just check this box, install, and let's wait it to install. Okay, so insiders has been installed. Let's go ahead and check my yeah. Raj?
What is the difference between VS Code and Insider? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, what is the difference between VS Code and Insider? What does it do? You're not audible.
I'll attempt to answer. VS Code Insiders just has some beta features which are not being released in VS Code. So it is updating almost every day. While as VS Code is only having the updates which have been certified from Microsoft. Also, your environment variables remains unaffected. So code will still work. You'll just get another environment variable with VS Code, the code insiders purpose.
So why we is because I have this feature of using Copilot to write code.
Sir, you're not audible, sir. I think we cannot hear you.
Am I audible now?
So the volume is very low.
The volume too low and some disturbance in mic.
Is it clear?
No, sir.
What was Saransh using if you're using his same computer? Was he using something different?
Hello. Hello.
This is better.
Okay. So the reason behind using VS Code Insiders is because it can edit files over here and it can even interact with your terminal. So I was going to show how you can create this project without writing much code. I created this project without writing any piece of code, and right now it is live on Vercel. And at the moment, I don't have example because it is on the other machine. But as soon as I execute this file, okay, and then so what it does is it gets a question and then it also gets a file, which is show. So similar to this project, to request, it sends a post request, so that application gets a post request and it is expecting question and file name in the form data. So this I can close. This also we can close. Yeah, so it gets question and then it also gets file, and after it gets the question and file, then we have this this thing like this question here. So this is the question. If I send this question in the post request,
then it actually solves this question, and all this code is not written by me, it's been written by GPT.
So this code basically solves project 2.
No, it doesn't solve it. No, it doesn't solve the project too, but like it can be used to write code by itself. So it has some part of project too, like this is the function that will solve the this particular question, this one, this one, and how to know that this is the question that you need to solve. So here, so special keys. Like, so yeah, if these things are there in the question, then it can identify that this question is, this is the question that needs to be solved. If that is the case, then it executes this function and then it sends the result. I will delete this file. I won't delete, or should I create another folder?
Sir, I think your voice is again inaudible, sir.
Hello, is it okay now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you now.
Okay. So I will first sign in with the GitHub. It's on my other screen, the signing in window. Once sign in, okay. I think now it has signed in, and it also have 0% to do. Okay. So now I can use it. So first of all, I will set this, instead of using edit, I will use agent over here, and then model, we can keep any of these. So this is test project, and actually I want to open this in another window. Okay, so Set up a formalized API server with labeled and it will be deployed towards such a course.
So could you go back to the command that you put?
To the prompt.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is the one. I just asked to set up a fast API server with codes enabled so that request might wait, and then we need to deploy it to ourselves. That's why I kept it. So this is the script that you have created. And this is something that we can use on Vercel because it will use this file and then it uses Python or something. Okay. And then all these are copied. And it also have created this fast API. I mean, requirement text. So we keep all these files. Okay. So now it will give us the command that we can just run. So then it will first before running the server, it needs to install a few things. So if I click on continue button, it starts installing a few things on my machine. Basically, first I will need to activate the VM. Okay, please be in the previous virtual. Now we can activate the virtual environment and then run this. Now it's, I don't know why it keeps opening a new terminal every time. It should not open a new terminal. When I was trying it it was not opening a new terminal. So anyway, for the time being, I will just copy this command and I will yes. Okay, just version. And now it will now let this begin. So I have set up this application. Now what I will do is go to one of the GA session. Let's go to some GitHub stuff. Let's have a look at what this question asks us to do. Create a GitHub account, and then if you don't have, create a new public repository. So, so this is what I'm asking it. Can you solve this question? Use GitHub API for solving it. So it turns on these steps. First, we need to create the new repository. You can just go to the GitHub API. Or and over here for exchange. Here, and then here is one example of how you can use GitHub API. It's the job ID. So for a particular owner, for a particular repo, if you want to run a particular action, then you can use this command, but it requires your personal access token. So that is something we need to give. And the API version, this is something that can be ignored. It's not necessary. Okay. Haven't created. Okay. So create GitHub API and commit file. It is trying to import request, but request is not available. So it have imported request, but it did not edit this file. Anyway, we can. I mean, whenever we send a prompt, we can ask it to, if you use some other package, then make sure that you put everything in the requirements. That's something we can mention it. But for now, I will just keep this code. I don't have request installed, so I will manually install it. And I will rerun the server. So over here, it is using create repo URL. So this is the URL that it is using. Then in headers, it is providing these headers where I need to put my token, and then in repo data, it is the repo name, which is over here, and then in new repository, and then whether it is private or public. Okay, for now, we'll just do this part, creating repo. Okay. This committing the file, I will just comment it for you.
So the token that is mentioned here, it's the GitHub token.
Yeah, GitHub personal access token.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you.
Also, when it was generating the code, like it have mentioned here. No, it didn't mention, but anyway, you can ask it to mention. So the purpose is it edits these files in place, and actually on Sharan's machine, it is opening a new terminal every time. But on my machine, it was executing those commands in the same terminal. So even it was giving commands for executing few. Like, it was even executing the commands. I just have to click on continue, and then it executes those commands, and then it can even read something from terminal. So if some error comes, then it can actually read that error, and then it can fix those errors. So for now, I will just comment these bits. Control S. We already have these things. So I will hit token, and this is create GitHub repo and commit file. So this is the function that will do the job. Can test it. Okay, we'll test it later. So now, okay, we can actually test it. Dot get just create repo. Okay, anyway, I am fixing it. I will ask it to fix it. I will go back to the same state, this one, and you create a endpoint for you create a get endpoint. Creating a new platform. Now ignore committing files to it. Creating for creating repo, and then uses token, and then also repo. And this is how we can make the solid. And it's loading. So now I will just go to this endpoint, and I will request it from my browser. Okay. I'm not familiar with fair exactly. Okay, yeah, this is the one. And let's see when running. Now I want to go to create repo endpoint. Oh, and we need to provide token is equal to something, and then repo name split that. Provide a random token and then repo name is equal to test underscore repo, and then what all these different things are there. You share and then repos. I don't think I need to provide anything else. Let's give it a try. But I need an actual token. Let me first make a request. Fail to create message bad credentials, and this is the documentation that can be used. So this is that documentation. Anyway, what I need to do is I need to get the credentials. Challenge. Do you have credentials for testing this? GitHub access.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have GitHub access document? Right, I will create a new token. To settings. Okay. Whatever test underscore TDS underscore project and execution day. So I will take this token and I will just copy this token. I will here. Here to create repository, and then it actually doesn't get that error. So let me have a look at what is the endpoint for creating the rep. It is HTTPS and then API, then name and then description, and then private is template and then these things. And why are we getting this error? Right now, it's not showing us the error of not being authenticated. Otherwise, it would have thrown. It's bad credentials thing. 401. Now it says 404, which is not found. And I need to know why it's throwing that. API.com, you share and then repos. Over here also API.com, you share repo and then the cases. Maybe in header I need to use that as well. So in header, content type is affiliation JSON. Name is something, description is one thing, and then other thing is private, which is a key. Find user to create token authenticated user. This one works for defined green token type, GitHub app, user tokens, and find green token. Have the following permissions. So that is because we didn't set the permissions correctly. So that's what we need to take care of. Right now I will delete it and then I will create another But now I will give it admin permission, and that to which permissions? It is this one. Admin repository permission, write permission, and then parameter for the create repository is in headers. We need to put these things in the a body. These are the things that so write permissions needs to be given, and I can give these permissions as well. Where me all these write permissions. Select. Okay. Let me set this to two. I'm not sure if there's a problem with permissions. So better can give all the permissions in the yeah.
So can it create new folders and files itself?
New folders and files in the sense?
I put that create a Vercel JSON on my system. Will it do the same?
Vercel.json.
Yes, sir.
This is fun. Okay, what is it? So you have created this file by yourself, right?
No, Jivraj, she is asking that is it possible to create these files using GitHub?
Using GitHub in the sense GitHub Copilot.
Yeah, Copilot.
Yeah, I generated these files using GitHub Copilot only. Like I first asked to set up a fast API server with cores enabled so that we can send requests, and then I asked that later we would need to deploy it to Vercel. That's why it created these Vercel.json files.
So actually, it in my case, it is not creating the file. It is just saying that do this and do all this.
Okay. Did you enable agent over here?
The option isn't there, sir. I thought it was by default.
Is this option available for you, or are you using the inside yours Copilot?
Yeah. I got it. Thank you.
Okay. So now if you enable agent, then it will start creating files. Did anyone stuck at any point like not able to do this setup, installing it or enabling it? So just you need to install it and then yeah, tell me.
Sir, is this safe to use or like how will it corrupt any of our system files?
Okay, right now I'm using it, right? So if you don't, I even don't trust it. The way how I used to use it is I used to use it in the virtual machine, okay, so that it doesn't affect home OS, the host OS.
Okay.
And like anyway, like whenever it generates some code, it will write it out the file, right? So you can have a look at these files, what exactly it has generated. And even if it suggests to execute some commands, then also you can read that command if if it can be executed, and then if you feel it is something that might harm, then just cancel that thing.
No, now this is developing, but actually, when we deployed, anyone can give any comments, right? That's why I'm asking. Well, we are in using the Vercel for testing. Anyone can give any comments, and it should automatically generate its own code. That's what the purpose of the project to, right?
Anyone can give it on.
No, no. If I am giving that in the public to test it out, so if I message hi also, it will generate the respective code for that.
No. This won't generate any code. This is
Okay.
for, I mean, before project you can write codes using it.
Okay, okay. Just this is not the. This is just the development of the project. This is not actually
Yeah.
the project, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's try TDS and owner is fine. And read permission. These permissions, and then permission, action administration permission, maybe read and write, and then repository creation deletion. Yeah, I think this would create the repo. So let me use this token. Okay, hopefully it have created this test repo. So in the response, it has sent few things, and this is honor and these things. Like it have able to detect that this is Sharan's token. So it have created the repo as well. And then backslash. Yeah, it have created this repo. After I will delete it so that it won't be of any use. Right now. And if I now like I will regenerate the token once again. So this is also the code generated by GPT itself, and then this is for on repo name and file path. So if I with all these informations it is getting from here, it's like on honor and then of login, which is honor. So honor of login, this is the name of the honor. And then repo name is something, I think it is here. No, not here. It is here. So these different fields it is getting, and then file path. Where is the file path? It is getting from file path is something that that will be sent. And file content is the other thing. All right, so let's try this out.
So for this question, we are actually giving a GET request through the code, and then we are creating the repository. But for other questions, we
Yes.
don't necessarily need to use the GET request.
Actually, it will happen. Yes.
For example, there's a zip folder question, or it's a JSON file question, or a CSV question. We do not need to generate a GET request, right, sir?
Yeah, you don't have to generate a GET request for those questions. So, like these things, I can remove it. I just wanted to test it, and then I can even okay for now. I mean, anyway, it will work. Okay. Like if I provide the file content. So this file path is on your repo that is available on internet. What should be the name of that file, and then file content is what should be inside that file. So for now, I will comment it out, or I can implement it anyway. So the main function is this one. We need to keep a backslash API endpoint. The rate app.post. Okay, I will send this thing to GPT itself.
Sir, instead of creating app.post, we can create a separate evaluate file and put the curl commands in that file, and then we can try and test it, right, sir? That's also an option.
That is for testing. No?
So what is the purpose of putting it like this, sir? App.post.
Like, so for testing purpose, after submitting this project, it will send a post request to this endpoint. Okay, this endpoint should be available backslash API. It should be available in your fast API server. So that's what we are trying to create. This is to send a request, but for listening that request, something should be there. So this backslash API endpoint must be there.
Got it, sir. So this so app.post should be present for every single function that we create, for every single question that we create. Is it question specific, or it should generally have just like a single statement?
No, I mean, it is a single question. It is a single endpoint which will get any question from 5 GAs. So if you look over here, it can get any question from GA1 to GA5, and then if there is some file that is involved, for example, over here there is this GIF file, right? So
Yes,
if there
sir.
are some files, then those files will be sent in file attribute.
And the question parameter in this call command, will it take the exact question from the graded assignment, or will it be rephrased, or will it be shortened, or something like that, sir? Or will it be the exact replica of whatever is given in the graded assignment?
So I mean, question language will be same, even wordings will be same. The only thing that might change is these parameters. If this 5115, it can change to some other number. Then this Tuesday, this date can also change. And why we are sending a file, that is because this file can also change. If whatever is data inside this file, it can also change.
Got it, sir. So in the post request, the file is generated. I mean, the file is attached in as a part of that post request, and so we don't have to upload any of the files into the Vercel application ourselves.
Yeah.
Got it,
File
sir.
will be.
Got it.
By the way, you can check that on the project 2 page as well. So there is an entire curl request which has been given over there. You can see we are providing you the file attached to that particular request. So that won't be a problem.
Yeah,
Sir, for identifying the parameters, can we use regex commands
yeah,
correctly
you can
instead
use
of
regex. Like if you
instead of
look over
LM because
here,
it's
so
yeah.
these bits you can look for it, right? But this is something that will be parameterized. So
Yeah, phrases will not be changing, right? Just the numbers and things will
yeah,
be changing.
phrases won't change.
Okay, because I am
It will be
trying
same
to
language,
hard
and
code it.
wordings will also be same, exact same question with some other set of parameters, and file can be different. So data can be different.
And okay, and for our own GA, it should work mainly
Yeah.
because and email IDs will be our own. That's mandatory, right? For questions to use
Email
it.
IDs,
Like
like few questions have email IDs, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, those questions we
So I
have to
mean,
hard
yeah, it
code.
can change. Email ID is also a parameter, right?
No, email it is for our GA, right? So how we will be able to do it? It's
Like if I
difficult,
show,
right?
If I go to GA2,
Yeah.
so if I go to this GitHub Action thing, I think it uses this email, right? It can be
Yeah,
some
correct.
other
Yeah.
email as well.
No, actually, question is below one, right? Not this one, right?
Yeah, but you need to
Okay.
over here you need to change.
Okay. So those URL based questions also that will be having the parameters.
Yeah, so it can change. Like this is the email. So think about
Okay.
this can be parameterized.
No, that's fine. But while creating the repo and all, it's difficult, right? That's why I thought. Yeah. Okay.
No, like while creating repo, it will be us. It won't create any problems. Like this email got nothing to do with the honor of repo. This is something that we are writing out in a file.
No, like what I meant is that I have created this file in my repo. Okay. And I am trying to call that URL directly here. And if any other email comes, then how will it match? I am thinking. So I need to generate dynamically the repo itself, right? For these questions.
Like you can edit files using a GitHub API. So a few things you can edit, and then after editing, there is ways to rerun the workflows. So this is how it can be done.
Okay. Okay, fine. So those types of questions also we have to check.
Yeah, I mean, even you don't like if you just change content of file, this email thing, then
Yeah.
you can keep auto like whenever you push something to your repo, it can automatically redeploy, like rerun the job. So manually, you don't even have to run the job.
Yeah, fair. No, my GitHub repo has some issue. I am not able to access using token. That's why I thought so without creating and we do something. Fine. I will look into it.
I mean, you can use some other GitHub repo. It's not like you have to use your student email address itself. It can be some other email addresses.
Okay. Can we have a global repo? So like collaborator repo and have that function?
I mean, you can have, but then everybody might get different email address, and then how in backend how request is working, that is not that
Yeah,
is
we will not be testing parallelly, right? All the
that is
nodes will
something
be
I'm not
running.
sure about.
Okay, yeah. Because I was thinking, cannot we create one repo and have that flow?
Like for these kind of questions, you can create one repo. I mean, there won't be any problems. For few questions, like either create like if you create one repo, then I'm not sure if that will work.
Okay. And can you please confirm in tomorrow's meeting or something whether that email will be the email based questions alone, whether parameterized or something? Because if that is primary, it's difficult to do itself for everything. Not just this one, but many questions are like entirely
Got
depend
it.
on that one, right? Just ask and confirm.
In our Will the recording available on YouTube? Yeah, it will be available on YouTube. Okay, we have finished with strong. Then we can first let's keep this. Try the setting. All right. So it is backslash API endpoint, and then if question is this one, then it is trying to extract few things. But we don't need this stuff at the moment. We just need to get the question and then the file. So we'll be having
So general question. Can the read information from MD file? Maybe you can use that to give it context. Markdown
your
file
voice is very low.
Markdown file पे can we give context to the agent?
Context to the
To the chat.
like I can download this as a markdown and then give context to it. Is it?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that is something I have already tried. It is very vague. That's
Okay.
didn't do good job. I can show it in front of you. It won't be able to do.
It's okay if it doesn't work. That's fine.
Like we can put some examples in the markdown. To identify which. Yes. Um, This is something that's not been defined, and the GitHub action question is not defined. It is over here. So right now it is using this function to identify the JSON, which is having queue dot items, and this is the request handler which uses sends question to us, and then question.id. Questions.id. G1 we can find question. Number of bytes, date, and then time can be characterized. So all these things are already installed, so I don't have to install them. And it have made some changes to this function, and then it have created this another stuff for handling these kind of questions. Okay. So handle request, it will be able to first identify the question, and then it will use the handler, and then the file that is there, and then this is the handler which goes with this file, and then it will do the job. Okay. So this is one error. And this is just a warning. This is another warning, and then this is the actual error that is there. So which matches maps to this particular handler, and that is with the function. So it gets the name of the handler and then it executes it. So I need to put it in quotes, maybe for now. Put it inside. So now I think when I will send a request to this endpoint from Passage API, then it should be able to identify this function. Okay, let's try that out. I'm not sure whether the code that is there is correct, but I just want to first figure out this here, and I'll go to so we have created this request which been using random type and then file, and then these are correct. And response in valid question or file format is what we are getting. So yeah, first I wanted to see if it works. So this is like if for any fast API server, if you happen talks to it, it will land you to this page where you can actually test these endpoints that you have created. And it does it by itself. So I just can put this thing and then I can put question over here. And then I can execute it, and then whatever response comes back, it will be shown here. So yeah, some just problem with this. That means it doesn't matches with any of these. And if I look for a downloaded extract or something like that, then there are two spaces here in the different process. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, you created the Swagger directly or like how?
Created this. Are you talking about?
Yeah, Swagger API.
This one, Swagger API.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I didn't do anything. It's been created by Fast API itself. By default, it creates.
Okay, can you ping that URL? I'll check in my system. Just create a model.
Just append backslash docs to it.
Okay.
I mean, I also figured out today itself when while chatting with while using agentic mode.
Okay, okay. I used to index.html to create one.
Okay, you used to use it. Actually, what I did is I asked it to create a something using which I can test. Then it suggested you don't have to create anything, just append docs, and it
Okay.
worked.
Yeah, fine.
But it has some problems with this like using regular expressions. Earlier it was working, but now it's not working. Maybe because it's not, this might not be correct. Test this out.
That's not the correct regular expression, right? You have gap between space and the and.
Space and end.
And yeah, in the initial you go. Yeah. Download, then double switch.
No. I have checked. There are two spaces. You're talking about these two spaces, right?
Yeah. Only one I saw. That's just a file folder, right?
Where is the like if I go over here and if I try it out, if I paste the question, it have two spaces here.
Okay. Cannot we use just extract it without the download?
I'm putting this back. I think I'm. Yeah, what you were saying, tell me.
Yeah, cannot we just ignore that download line while in the regular expression and just have from the extract it? Yeah. Will it not work?
So it is checking in the question items and then it is trying to match. Yeah, I think it should work.
Because
even
it's
earlier
regex, right? Yeah, earlier it should work. I'm just asking so that we can have it dynamically for every question, right? Without any download and.
So these irrelevant things you can remove, or you can even create some unique keywords you can identify.
Yeah, I have created one phrases JSON itself for every question.
Oh, wait. I mean, the one that I created earlier, it had the unique keywords itself.
Yeah,
let
you
me
can
show
do
it.
Yeah,
Like, I don't have to create. Is it this one? No, not this one. I think this is the one. So it had these kind of keywords. Sort and then JSON and then array and then objects, ascending, descending. If these kind of words are there, then we can identify that this question is this JSON one.
Keywords is difficult because JSON many questions are there, right? We can just have sort by JSON, sort in JSON directly, right?
Yeah. So multi-word keyword.
Yeah. Directly we will have, like in this question is there, right? Which you showed earlier. So
this one.
No.
Oh, this one or this one?
LS question.
Yeah. This is the one.
Yeah. So here use ls and extract all the files will be same. That command will be same.
Yeah, this can be used to identify.
Yeah. That will be same, right? So that alone can be used, right?
I think we can even remove this stuff.
Yeah. Because only the file will be changing.
So this is something that can be removed, and parenthesis Have I made some mistake? Mhm. Yeah. Let me copy this question again. Hey, this is wrong one. Invalid question or file format. What is the file format? File format is GIF file. So we already have a handler for GIF. So handler file, and then it is handle ls file, which uses GIF file. So actually, it didn't run this piece of code at all. Otherwise, it would have created some files over here. Should have created this directory, which did not. It did not. IRL.
Yeah, also one more issue you have in your API itself, you are making the file as required field. It should be optional because all question does not have file. That's
Yeah,
it.
that is one thing.
Yeah, because we make it optional
That's correct.
because it will
It
confuse
should be
people
optional.
also. Yeah, and one more thing is that when you have to unzip a file, it should be in correct format itself. So we have to check with the extension itself, not by just
Yeah. So maybe over here we should create a file handler and then file, and then there are 5 graded assignments, and then for each of those assignments we can identify uh, which all are the different file types that might be possible.
Yeah, I
Right?
will ping you. I will ping you that one code. Just
If file dot, I think file name and ends with or something like this. If that is the case, if it is CSV, then we need to do something else. Those kind of things happens.
I have pinged you the extensions directly. Try this one.
These
Yeah,
are the list of all
possible.
the possible extensions that are there in questions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the image
so
also they may save in both JPG, PNG, or JPEG. Anything they can do.
yeah.
Included.
So here, that this is something that is important thing. Like extracting GIF is important. For this, you might have to put some code. Like if it starts with GIF, then you need to unzip it first before doing anything. So those kind of. If it is PDF, if it is PDF, then we cannot do anything with PDF. We don't have to do. Like if it would be type of part of question itself. Depending on, is there something that we can do with JSON? No. Is there something that we can do with JSON L? Yeah, the JSON L is the one that had truncated.
Both the JSON also is there in some questions in GA4 and GA5.
Yeah, but we don't have to handle it, right?
No,
Zip
we
files we have
have
to
to
extract.
understand whether that's from the front end it's being correctly populated or not. It's just not the handler because even if we give a DB file, it should not take right. That's the handler, right? Because it will corrupt the system and all, and also we have to have a limit also, which end of file can be taken. So we have to have.
Yes. So like right now this project is not working, but the earlier one that I created, it had these keywords kind of thing. As you see it, instead of using single keyword, we can use multi-line keyword, and then those can be used to identify question. So this is to identify question. Let me have a look at what was the identification function was there. It first converts everything to lower text, and then identified question is the set. If it identifies multiple question, then that is the case. And then question ID and then question info, and then in question info, we are looking for keywords. Now, keyword in question info dot keyword, and then in this text, so we are looking for these keywords that we, I think it is here. So each one of these we are trying to find in the question itself. So it can be multi-keyword thing that can be used, and then also it can be function calling can also. So that this is something that I did earlier. It was working. I can run it right now as well. Let me first stop the other server. And this command copy it from here. Paste it here. Now is it ready? Now it is also creating some problem because of main dot. Oh, it is main. Alright, I need to change that. And instead of main, it should be index. And is it app or some other thing? Okay. And now it is running. Okay. So for today's session, this is all that I wanted to show. Does anyone have any doubts? Oh, Sharansh, in case if you're trying to say something, you're not ready. Oh, yeah, I'm using your mic. Sorry. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, one doubt. You have given slash API slash, right? Why that slash is required?
Here?
Yeah. Both, like, we can directly give slash API, right? Why you are giving slash API slash?
That is because it was part of this documentation, project documentation.
Okay. No, I thought like API, then you will give it the params directly, because I am confused with that slash.
No, it will be a post request. It won't be.
No, normally in post request slash API, that's it. After that, nothing will be there. So why that slash is there? Last slash.
Like if I change it, I think it won't work. That's why I removed it. Let me try it out. Each have started the server. Hopefully the other server is turned on. Okay, it is already shutting it down. Right? Oh, maybe I need to shut it down. And then what about the other server? It's been running. Let me rerun it. Let me check if it works, even if I remove. I think it might work. Because in Mad2 project, I removed it and it worked.
Yeah, that's why only I was thinking, should we have?
Yeah, it works.
It works, right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So it's safer to keep slash itself.
Mm, yes, it works. Like there
Okay.
is possible. I mean, you can even put these multiple handles,
Okay.
which points to the same function. Okay. For that, you would need to use one. Okay. No, I won't open that file. Some multiple something, some package I installed. I don't remember which one.
No, that's directly we can give. That's fine. Post can handle both the things. That's
Yeah,
basic.
yeah, it should handle. I think. I mean, in Mad2 project, it was handling.
No,
So I
Mat
think it
2
will
you
handle.
would have used decorators for that. That will be the case. But here it can handle directly. It's fast if you have it.
Any other questions? Yeah, Shalin.
So Versal, when you deploy the application on Versal, it has a 250 MB limit. So when we're working with 10 questions up till 25 questions, I don't think we have a problem. But once the number of question increases, the more number of packages you have to install. Sometimes the one of the errors that I got was there is a limit on Versal for 250 MB. So it's not able to complete the building of the application on the Versal. In that case, how do we proceed, sir?
Mm, yeah, that is a really good question. Actually, I'm thinking to test it out by myself for creating solutions for all these 50 or whatever number of questions are there, and if it can work with Versa. I will try to create solution, and then I'll try to do it before, not before quiz one. It will be before quiz two, and after quiz two. I don't know why. Before. After quiz two, I will try to see if all these questions can be solved. For now, what you can focus on is you focus on solving these questions on local system. If you can do that, then later, if there is some problem with Versal, that is something we'll deal it later on.
Sure, sir.
Like I need to test it out first, if it can be done in Versal alone.
Yes, sir. And the 5 random questions that will be tested, will it be tested in this similar format, sir? So the API URL link slash docs. Here are the Versal applications, the Versal.app slash API slash docs, and then you go into the post request and then you give the command there. And this is how the final checking will happen, final verification from your end will happen, sir.
It will be it will be verified using this call request, which is same. Okay, like if you use this backslash docs, it actually sends a curl request itself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, if you will use what is provided over here. So just that in few of questions, file will be optional. So keep this optional. If you keep it mandatory, then it will create some problems. And you can test it using this appending backslash docs.
Yes, sir.
Saransh, can we try Git pages alternative for Versal?
Git pages.
Yeah, directly hosting from Git itself.
Yeah, like if you push this to GitHub, and then the Versal directly fetches it from GitHub.
Yeah, instead of that, cannot we directly use GitHub pages for pushing?
GitHub
Like,
pages.
Yeah, pages.
But then how we will be requesting? Like GitHub pages, it's not server. It is just hosting few static files.
Okay. It will not act like an endpoint. Because in one GA question, it was the question itself. That's why I just asking that.
Like it is for hosting static files. It won't be able to process some requests.
Okay.
Yeah, Shalini.
So we have to solve questions for graded assignments 1 to 5. For 5, we have the answers that we have entered visible in the graded assignment portal. Whereas for graded assignments 1 to 4, it's not available. Is there any option to get that? I mean, for us to be able to see whatever answers that we enter, so that when we try to execute the curl command, at least
Yeah,
we'll know what answer that we've given. We can verify it with that at least.
yeah. Like it, let me look for a mail. It's not over here.
Saransh, I have pinged you that one. What you're
Yeah. This is the one. Yeah, I was looking for this only.
Yeah, I have pinged you.
Thanks. So if you run this particular piece of code in here.
But before that, we have to reload that one. Then we have to run this one.
I don't think you need to reload it. See, it works. Now you can type.
But we have to know the answer also, right? So reloading will show the answer. That's what the question was. How to know the answer?
How to know the answers?
Yeah, that's what the question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can directly click on reload button in your recent saves, right?
Okay.
Saransh, you have that.
Yeah.
Right?
This is the one. This is the one.
Yeah, this one directly it will come. That's it. That's the yes. But don't check or save. Okay.
Previous
Yeah.
answers.
Don't save. Just check. Okay. If you save, it will go.
And yeah, if you want to check for the new, like, okay. Just first, what you do is you reload all these answers, okay, and copy it in some other place, like some text file or something, so that you don't lose those answers. And later you can check it. If you want to test for new answers, that is, you are writing this script, and for this question, if you got some answer, then you can put that answer, and then you can click on check button. I mean, until you don't click on a save button, all those answers will be available over here on these three submissions.
Yeah. And don't save. Okay, that's the mandatory point. If you save, you cannot see the recent things because only 3 reasons will be shown. That's the issue.
Yeah.
And sir, for the graded assignment one, the very first question is the code -s command inside the terminal while the VS Code is being run. So this is very system specific. In this case, how do we proceed, and what will be the right answer for this
Like these
particular?
kind of questions, you can hard code them. You just run it once on your system, and then if request is made for, I mean, if it is if application is asking for this question, then you can just send the hard coded reply.
Got it, sir.
Yeah, for collab question, how will we handle that? Also, I have to ask.
That collab one, right?
Yeah, GA3, GA3, can you go?
It's, I think, GA3 or 2. I think it must be GA2. Let me first check this GA3.
GA2.
GA2, okay.
Yeah, this is the one, right?
Yeah, this one, and before that also, after that also we have like multiple 2 or 3 questions here.
It have this parameter.
Yeah, that's what
That is the
every
problem.
question. Yeah, if you have that statement like we can use our own thing, then everything will be easier. That's the
Yeah.
only
Like if
concession we
this
need.
parameter doesn't change, then it is
Yeah,
very easy stuff. You can keep it hard code.
yeah. So only confirm with that one. Also, one more thing. Go to the top first second question or something. Just scroll up. This image question is there, right? Image question was there. One
This one.
second. This one, I guess.
Yeah.
This image will be saved. How it will be given? This question.
It will come in the request itself.
No, output you see. Yeah, the request
Output
fine. It's
also, it should be part of response.
no, we don't have answer right here.
Yeah. So this is something we need to update. I mean, they will update it later. So we discussed this particular question, the image kind
Yeah,
of.
only 2 questions are there. This one and the GA5 last question.
Yeah, those things we
Yeah.
those things.
Can we remove those questions or like how we have?
I mean, I cannot say it can be removed or not. I mean, if
No,
I
no,
was the
just
one, then
asking.
I could have removed it. I don't have any problems with these questions.
Yeah. No, you can just discuss this one also. And this GA second question and last question of GA5.
Last question. This is the
Yes, sir.
No,
The llama file question and the ngrok tunnel question.
yeah. So this llama file, I mean, it cannot be solved on your that Wurzel itself. So we'll try to find if there is some other alternative platform where it can be run. If it is possible, then we'll share the information about that platform. Or what you can do is like over here, there is no parameter, right? So you can just post it once at somewhere if it allows, and each one of you don't have to do like each of these
no,
students
still we cannot
can use the
host it
same
live
thing.
like
Huh?
it's a llama file, right? It recurs a system itself.
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
It's a llama file, right? It recurs a system itself to host.
Yeah, it requires a system. That is the thing.
Yeah. One thing can be done, but I am not sure whether everybody will be helping for that. I am not
What is
expert
that?
also. We can have a VM which has been live, and we can just host a llama file in that and just port that to an server directly URL. Inside VM will be installing the llama file.
Yeah, the thing is, it needs to be running every time. It needs to be continuously running. That is the only issue.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, I would suggest if there is some possibility of solving this question at the moment, I don't know where to do it. Like on Vercel, this question for sure it cannot be done because it is very huge file. This cannot be done on Vercel. So if there is some platform where it can be hosted, then just host it once and everyone can use the same URL. So individual students don't have to host it again and again.
Or also, Saransh, one more question. Can we know what is the evaluation metric for these type of question because it's difficult to understand itself? How you are verifying whether that is correct or not?
This llama one.
Yeah, llama, all the URL question. I am not able to understand.
All the URLs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be sending some requests to this thing.
Okay.
What I can do is I can give you those scripts which used to send requests to these endpoints.
Okay. Yeah, that would be fine. That also would be fine. And just the evaluation matrix for all the URL question. At least we can understand right what's happened.
I mean, this is the easy one. It doesn't need anything, right?
No, still it needs to be hosted, right?
Yeah, it needs. I mean, this needs to be hosted, but I mean, this you are able to understand like how you need to send the request to this endpoint. Like you just need to use query.
No. This is 8,000 just slash API, but we have one more question where same question will have say same thing. So we have to have like dynamically two questions will be running once. Both the question I think same we will be using. I forgot the question.
I remember there
One,
was one more question.
yeah,
Yeah, this.
G8, yeah, correct. No, not this one. I think one more, another one was there. GA3 or GA1, I guess. There were two questions similarly, which had 8,000 itself.
Okay. If there is some API testing question, like if you need to put the endpoint, then I can. I will try to create a. I mean, I will create a file,
Yeah,
some curl request or something that you can use to
yeah,
test it.
yeah. And one more thing, when we have like multiple 8,000 to be used for everything, we cannot stably have that 8,000 port to be exposed every time, right? So in one GA, it's fine, but multiple GA question you are testing, right? Randomly, 5 GA question you are testing, and some
Then
having,
yeah, then you can use some other port number like 8010 or something.
no, 8,000 port is fine, but that will not be exposing correctly, right? If, for example, slash AP is there for you. Here it's mentioned we have to use that Versal app itself directly. So here we are passing that uh, fast API to the Versal and hosting it out. Okay, fast API by default is using 8,000 port.
Yeah.
If we change that one, it will also change that Versal. It will not work itself, right? Versal hosting.
No, this will be consistent.
Oh, that will be consistent even if you change the port also.
I mean, you want you don't need to change the port, okay? Like over here.
Here we have not mentioned the port because by default the app is just a fast API will send in
Yeah.
8,000 port.
Yeah. So okay, see, Talvin, if there is some question which needs to use Versal, okay, then what you can do is these questions will be same, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that might change is this data.
Yeah, correct.
So this data might change. If this, so what you can do is you can create a Versal server already running, okay? And on that Versal server, you can send this file in the request body.
Yeah, same as which we had in for the project.
Same as which you hacked.
We have in the project same.
Yeah, same as which you have in the project. So
yeah,
that is one request going to your project Versal server, and from that Versal server, it can go to some other Versal server, which processes that request.
Okay. So you are telling we can directly use the requests command to initiate one more Versal server. We will be calling that and getting the output.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, fine.
And then
so
you
we
can
have to,
and then you can put a link of that Versal server, the other one.
Okay, we have to have that much of Versal servers for every question which have URLs. Just for the understanding, right?
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Sir, just to reiterate what you discussed, right now for everything that has a URL, you're supposed to create a separate Versal application and then call that URL via request every single time.
Yes, like these questions, you can host it on some other Versal server, and then the thing that will change is parameter or this data. So this data you can send it in the request body.
Yes,
like
sir.
we used to send like
For
this.
this, yes, sir. So for this question, it explicitly states that we have to create another Versal app. But for URLs like 8,000 and other, I mean, those two other 8,000 questions, for that also we create a Versal application and pass that in our code.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, sir.
All right, then I will start the session now.